Hello everybody, welcome into the Hobby Bar. This is Jason, and welcome. Today we'll be continuing on these three guys, the Genestealer Cult people that we've been working on, the Iconward, the Primus, and the Nexos here. And with those guys, we'll be continuing to get more of the army closer to completion. And yeah, just gotta mainly hit up details, maybe do a bit of highlighting on some colors, and yeah. We'll be partying on with these guys. Anyway, if you do any hunting, feel free to jump in, join along, get some stuff done. If not, hey, rock on, that's cool too. Hope you enjoy and you get whatever you're working on done, or just have a good time hanging out. I appreciate it either way. But regardless, feel free to get your own music running, and let's dive into getting some stuff done today. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Cuttlefish Colors Siren Green by Cephalopod Studios. Wanted to use this color here on the Iconward to build back up a nice, bright, I don't know, greenish, bluish color on the robes. Might push it a bit further and break out some will-o-wisp blue next time to really get some of the highlights going on the edges of the robe and where it would be facing the light. So thinking I might do that next time. But anyway, on to we're doing voiceover again now. Kinda happy with doing the, admin side of things right now. Kinda happy with doing the, recording of the audio with recording the, hand motions at the start. So intro, I'll probably keep doing that, recording audio on this mic. And then swapping it over to the webcam mic for the rest of the painting. Yeah, I think it works a little bit better. It's easier to sequence up things too. Otherwise, yeah, kind of still doing the voiceover thing for the rest of it. And I think it'll work better since I run things back at 2 times speed. So yeah, I think we'll keep doing it this way for now too. Anyways, just doing the Siren Green here on the robes of this Iconward, just to bring back up the mid to highlight tone here. I kind of want to push it to a slight greenish hue. Might take will-o-wisp green next time, add a little bit of that in here just to get a nice highlight color in here. But I might not. As usual, we'll figure it out as we go. Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap up this process on these robes and adding a little bit of it to the hologram on the table for the Nexos. And I'll catch up with you all here in a little bit for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting out Cuttlefish Colors Poor Boy Denim. Sort of a desaturated blue there, you can see it on the left and down below in the current paint little overlay. But I want to put this over the blue robes on the Nexos and on the shoulder pad that's blue of the Primus, just to highlight those up a bit. So this is why I kind of wanted to use it as the highlight color. Wanted to do it a little bit simpler on the Nexos and Primus than I am on the Iconward there. So that's why we're kind of going through a little more steps on the Iconward. Also I have a couple extra of them, so I can be a little more experimental and do some fancier stuff on them and then make the other ones normal and they can still match up with everybody. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this process on this guy and the Primus. And I'll catch up with you all here in a little for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting back out the Citadel Magos Purple for a quick bit. Because when I was looking at them, I noticed on the Iconward the feet kind of stood out a little bit as not being very purple, even though they're kind of in the shadow and stuff. So I wanted to break back out the contrast paint again and just get them on the feetsies. Just to knock them back down and make them match up. And then we go straight into some Femme Fatale Violet from Cephalopod Studio. I finally decided to make the icon on the banner purple, but just going in with a purple over the yellow probably wouldn't work so well, so I wanted to do basically an undertone of the Femme Fatale Violet, which is sort of a darker purple. Just doing multiple thin layers of this on there. It's going to take a few coats. And then, to provide some dry time, kind of have to look over the other two and figure out, well, can I use this purple anywhere on those guys? So, be adding a bit onto the hologram table there for the Nexos. Add a little bit of color to it other than the holographic blue sort of color. But, yeah, we'll basically just be picking out the icon on this though, with the purple. I'm not sure for the base trim of the banner if I want to also make that purple or go with a third color on it. Yeah, not really sure on that one. Maybe make it red. I don't know. We'll figure it out though, one of these times. For the base trim. Maybe make it white. That might be interesting too. But yeah, don't really think there's much else to talk about for that bit, so I'll catch up with y'all here in a bit for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting out some Army Painter Mutant Hide. I wanted to give some of Army Painter's other paints a try, just because I wasn't sure how well they work, and I wanted to kind of see the results for myself. Their metallics are supposedly decent, and I was enjoying the paint on primer before, so I figured I'd give their normal war paint line a try, just to see how it looks. And kind of happy with this color. I decided to pick this one up because it's akin to some of the colors I was using for the purples and stuff. So I kind of wanted to see how it felt. And it's, I want to say, sort of desaturated purple from where I was trying to get to. Mutant Hide seems a little similar to the skin tone, but it's a little bit more pinkish. I think it's towards the red side a bit more from the cooler purple side. But yeah, I'm still working on figuring out all the color values and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I wanted to basically coat the symbol in this now. I was thinking this would be the final color, and then I kind of looked at it and it looks a little bright. So, I kind of just leave it as the highlight color though, on the ridges. And we'll be coming in with another paint shortly to come back over this and try to knock it back down. Anyway, I'll go ahead and do this process, and I'll catch up with you all here shortly for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Citadel Genestealer Purple. I had to get a new pot of this because my other one actually became a brick inside. Like, no amount of medium would help it. I would basically have to go in and mix it all up with probably a paint stirrer, if it could even get into the basically solidified up plastic on top. Yeah, a little awkward there. But that was probably the first one I've had fully dry up on me for Citadel paints, so yeah, it finally happened. Anyway, we're adding this into more of the recesses. I'm trying to be a little more targeted here with this purple than just going all over everything everywhere. And sort of leaving it very faint over the ridges, since again, I kind of wanted the Mutant Hide to be the highlight color there. But yeah, pretty happy with how the color turned out after adding some Genestealer Purple into the mix, so that's always a nice feeling. But yeah, we'll also use it to hit the arrow here that we started with, earlier, because I wanted it to be a nice Genestealer-y purple for the Genestealer Cults coming in on the round there with that arrow for the Nexos' hologram table. Or command table, whatever you want to call that floating machine there. And then we dive in with some of the Mutant Hide again. Because of the color it had, I kind of wanted to try it as a highlight on the skin. And then after I did it, I kind of noticed I couldn't really tell a difference. So then I decided, well, Vallejo White Flesh is kind of pinkish anyway. What if I use that as a highlight color on the skin? Because there's a little bit of pink in there. And it was a little bit too much on the white end. It was very desaturated, so I kind of wasn't happy with that. See me come in here with the brush and try to erase some of it. And I do manage to get a decent amount off, but then we have to grab a quick little bit of Mutant Hide just to reapply that. Because Mutant Hide was close enough to the skin tone that I figured I can just get away with adding some Mutant Hide over it and it'll be fine. However, for this guy, for the Nexos, I kind of wanted it to be a desaturated purple pink anyway for his face, so I went ahead and highlighted him with the white flesh. Big thing with it, trying to control how much was on the bristles of the brush. This way I don't just slap some on and all of a sudden he's very pale pink instead of being sort of purplish still, with much more of him being pale for his skin. So that was tricky to get right, but we kind of figure it out. And yeah, just quick little process all over his skin to highlight it up, sort of desaturate it down again. Alrighty, next we bust out Citadel Snakebite Leather. Arguably one of the better contrast paints is Snakebite Leather. Just, it comes out of the pot pretty much right where you want it to be for color-wise. I find 2 coats of it still makes it even better. And if you put it over a different undertone other than just white, you can make some really nice leather colors. But as just a leather color on its own and just using a single paint, it works darn good. So it's one of those that I can't quite get away from because it's a heck of a drug. But yeah, it's a real nice leather color, so I wanted to use it on all of the leathery bits, or what would be leather on these 3. See me going over the holster and like a couple of other things on the Iconward. I'll use it for the Nexos' bag and a couple other things on him, and the Primus. The Primus's belt will become Snakebite Leather. So, gonna be doing this little process on all 3 of the little duders here. Usually for contrast, I try not to leave the pots for Citadel open, but it just makes it so much easier to do that, and then I don't have to like use an eyedropper or anything to pull a specific amount out and find a spot on a wet palette or something for it. Iffy on if I still want to do it this way. Because usually I found if you tend to leave the Citadel pots open like that and use them this way, that's when you tend to have problems with stuff drying out. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep doing it this way or not, but still am. No big deal. It's working for now. But anyway, we'll finish this process on all 3 of these guys with the Snakebite Leather, and I'll catch up with you all here shortly for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are moving on to some Cephalopod Studios Harlot Red. I wanted to base coat the other arrow with Harlot Red real quick. This way I would have a purple arrow to sort of signify the cult forces coming in from the outside, and I would have this red arrow coming through the building on the other side to be like enemy forces in the building trying to keep us out, basically. And that's what the Nexos is sort of overlooking. So that's why I wanted to come in with two different colors here for the arrows. But, because it was already blue, I didn't want to go straight into a actual like bright red color, which y'all probably know what's coming. Here we are with Crawdaddy Red from Cephalopod Studios. I just can't get away from this darn color. It's a nice bright red. And just, I just can't have enough of it, apparently. Yeah. So, we're using this over the, Harlot Red, just to really build up a nice red color here on the arrow. Get it nice and strikingly red. And then, we move on to a bit of Genestealer Purple. Because I noticed the purple arrow wasn't quite the right purple color for me, so I wanted to add a bit of Genestealer Purple onto that. Alrighty, next we break out some Militarum Green. This is another contrast color. I kind of like it because it's one of the, what tends to be one of the weaker ones. My main problem with it, it separates very easily. Like, usually after a day or two of it sitting around, the bottom of the pot will basically be white. Like, some of the stuff in it has settled out. I think it settles a bit quicker than the bright yellow-green one that they put out when they put out the Necrons. Which is also a real nice one, but that one settles into like a gel. That's also a similar color. This is actually like a grayish, whitish pigment or something that settles out at the bottom. But it can be annoying. It takes a lot of shaking to get rid of it, or a decent amount of time on a vortex mixer, which thankfully I now have one. Otherwise, using Militarum Green might be a bit difficult. But I did notice it seems to work a bit better now, after vortex mixing it, basically. Because I wanted to make basically the radio equipment that my Nexos has look like it was just taken from somebody else. So I wanted to do that also because this is an Imperial command table thing. Figure, the dials can be Militarum Green as well. We'll probably do the Aquila there in gold later, and then, you know, tarnish up the scrape marks that are across it, the slashes, but that'll come a bit later. Anyway, we'll just finish up with Militarum Green here on these things, and I'll see you shortly for the next paint. Alrighty, one last little bit of Genestealer Purple, just because I had a little bit on the palette, and I figured this crease in the middle could use a bit more purple. So, real quick, a little bit of that. Alrighty, and now we're on to the last call, everybody. Last call. So, they're doing a spin in the background, and, yeah, made some decent progress. I know there's still claws to go, weapons mostly to go, and then like tubes for the Nexos that connect the battery to the table, get the caution lines down. Then we can move on to basing, but still chugging along on these three guys. Initial idea was to power through the Iconward, and then kind of have been getting distracted helping myself to painting the other three along the way as well. But making good progress though overall. Pretty happy with it. Anyway, I appreciate you all hanging out and hopefully getting some stuff done along with me and enjoying. And yeah, hope you all had a good time, and hope to see y'all next week for the next part. Hopefully we'll be done doing detail work after this next week. This way we can move on to other fun things. But yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Again, hope y'all got some stuff done, and have a fantastic week, everybody. Take care out there, and have a good one.